Uh, I'm Stephanie Dees with Chalky Decor and Vintage, and yeah, I'm going live here on YouTube. I have not done that in quite a while, so hopefully we can do this. What I want to do is, and I didn't even preface this video with actually what I'm doing, but I'm doing my pedestals. So I have put a video out, like a short video. Actually, it was a longer video, and I'm trying to find my video. I don't know how to see it. But I was is that it? So I can see and moderate. There it is. I'm gonna say hello, and you guys can let me know if you're on. If there is an issue, I do not have a moderator. I thought I said hello. Oh, there it is. If there is an issue that you're aware of that I need to know about, just let me know in the comments. I don't expect anything. I am a small fish, so hopefully will not be fried. But what I want to do is I want to show you what I do with my pedestals, and I'm going to show you live, kind of like in real time, what I do. So I start with, this was just raw wood. I start with that, and I put a black undercoat on. This is the first coat of paint that it gets. So this is the black undercoat. It's dry, it's ready to receive the next color. And when I use milk paint and it flakes up and flakes off, I want to see a different color underneath. That way, if you're looking at a salvaged piece, you're seeing more than one color, or more than, you know, there's years and years of painting under it. So with this pedestal that I sell on Etsy and on my website at chalky-decor.com, I used two colors for the undercoat. I use black, and it's dark, and then I use a green. But with this green, I am barely, I'm gonna move it so that you can see it. There's some places that have full coverage, and some places you can still see the black. And it's basically, I'm hitting a lot of the high spots and not any of the crevices, because later on when I wax it, and I won't go through that in this video, because then I'd have to move us to my shop where I do my sanding, and that would require me moving the filming and my phone and everything, the tripod and everything. And I have done those videos before, so you can go back and check those out. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you in real time too, in case you want to see a longer version of how I get the salvaged look on my pedestal. And I'll go back and edit the video and have that as the title so you can refer back to it. And it's also kind of like a how to get your milk paint to look very old and chippy type thing too. Okay, so this is, actually have 3 pedestals that I'm working on today. We'll get that there. And I have, so what I've done is I've painted this in the black. It dried. Now I've put the green on it for an undercoat. And the next step is, I'm going to pick this other one back up. It's not fully dry yet. It's not fully dry yet. So let's get it dry. I painted it before I went live, but just right before I went live, okay? So it's not going to take but a second to dry out. I know no one wants to watch paint dry, right? So I'm going to try to get this. And I was going to try and stream both ways through Facebook and YouTube, but I could not get StreamYard to work for me today. I don't know why. It was just spinning and spinning and spinning and wasn't working for me. So, and I don't think it's my internet. I don't know what was going on with it. But we are going to work through this, and I'm just going to go live twice. I've got the work to do, so, and this is my Work With Me Wednesday, and I may just have to do it this way. Who knows what's happening with StreamYard. But I've used it before. I was familiar with it before. It's been a while since I've used it, so it's just getting used to it again. Okay. So this is dry. So now the green paint, the black paint, the green paint is dry. Now I'm taking Sweet Pickins Milk Paint top coat. It's the final finish, and it's the top coat. And this one is in satin. And I'm just using a chip brush. You're gonna see it's not gonna be, I'm not trying to get it to be an absolutely flawless finish, because this is not my finish. And I just brush it on, and it just creates a barrier between the milk paint and these undercoats. And what that does is that actually is going to allow the milk paint to not adhere as well to the undercoat. And that's what I want, because I want the flaky and the chipping off. I want the paint to chip off. I want it to flake. I want it to crack. I want it to do all the things that milk paint is so loved for. And I'm not putting I saw a loose bristle. I'm not putting a ton of this finish on it to make sure I've got a good, but I am making sure it's got a really good coat. So where you might not have a ton of the finish, I gotta add a little bit more to my cup. So you might not have a like you might have a spot that doesn't have a lot of finish on it. Well, the milk paint's going to adhere really well there and not come off. That's fine. But where you got like a lot or enough, then the milk paint is going to flake off. So if you want to do it randomly like I did the green paint, you can do that too. But this always adds such a good chippy finish to it. Okay, so that is what I do, and we're gonna get this dry. And then we're gonna add a coat. And I'm gonna show you what it does, but and I may not stay live for the whole thing. I don't know, who knows? Because I do have a lot of things to do, as well as getting these out. But I do have some milk paint mixed up. And if you need to see how that is, how it's mixed, I can do that. But I had already mixed some up. I've got to find my water. My throat is getting dry. What I like about milk paint, and the undercoat that I put on was a green DIY paint aviary. And you see this top coat turns it darker. Let me grab me a bottle of water. I have some down here just for this occasion because I'm definitely going to need it. I can feel the tickle. But what I was saying is, what I like about DIY, Debbie's DIY clay-based paint, Sweet Pickins Milk Paint, is it is a non-toxic, low VOCs or no VOCs. Milk paint is actually food grade, depending on how you finish it off. It is not food grade how I finish it. So, but anyway, and that's what I like about it. I do have a good ventilated room, but I can be here and be fine. But earlier I was building these pedestals and doing a lot of sanding and stuff, and usually later in the day I get to coughing and it starts getting to me. Although I wear a respirator mask and have my oh my gosh, my shop vac hooked up to my dust collection. Still doesn't matter. It gets me. You can't get everything, every piece of particle out of the air. I would love to. Okay, I'm just getting it dry so that I can start the milk paint. Now, there we go. Okay, so no one needs anything. I was looking. So with milk paint's dry. Here is Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. You can get it on my website at chalky-decor.com. It is dry. It is like a powder. I love it. It is just, you mix up ever how much you want, and it's 1-to-1. 1 part milk paint to 1 part water. Warm water is the best way to do it. On the other hand, I start with a lower amount of water, and then I work up to the right amount of water, because I either, depending on my application, I either want it thick or I want it thin. So you just lay it on, and I've laid on a really thick coat there. It's okay. And I usually do, for these pedestals, I usually do 2 coats. So, and what's going to happen is, because I created that barrier with that finish, with final finishes, the milk paint is not going to adhere as well to the, let me turn around so you guys can see it. It's not going to adhere as well to the, and I've got a bristle there, probably from the finish. It's not going to adhere as well to the top coat that I applied. So I'm going to get some flaking, which is what I want. And for this, the crease down here, there we go. I just kind of dig my brush in, get it in there, make sure I've got everything coated good. And there. I don't want any thick lines there. And I mixed up just a 1/4 cup of powder and relatively the same amount of water when I mix this. And I've already got 1 pedestal finished. It was 2 coated, and I will probably have enough to finish this one. 2 coats. And I'm just making sure I get enough in that one to get it. Okay. Make sure there's no drips on that side. There we go. Let's start on this one. And I love to use, I've got this little Lazy Susan. I love to use Lazy Susans to paint with. And then I 3D printed these little, let's see, this one's not even used, but I 3D printed these little paint triangles. And it helps out so much. Between the Lazy Susan and the 3D printed paint triangles, I'm so excited because it makes my life a little easier. I may have to mix up more. I will definitely have enough to single coat this. What I like about these pedestals is the architectural look of them. You can get them on my website at chalky-decor.com. They are available there. You can also get the milk paint there. The final finishes. Everything you need to create this look. Because I also use, although I did use the cottage color anvil, I usually use lantern as well, but I use extra bond with it to allow it to stick really well to the wood. Although milk paint will stick, it'll bond really well to raw wood. And this was raw wood to start with. But I just want to make sure when I'm using lantern that I do that. Okay. And then I will put a second coat on this, but I'm going to pull up my other one that I've already got finished and show you what it looks like. And I'll do that while I dry this one. I want to make sure there's no drips. Let's make sure on this side. Sometimes my brush goes over the edge and creates a clump of paint. So I just make sure that I've got it. Okay, so this is gonna get dried. And then after the second coat and I dry it, it will look like this. So you can see the chipping. When I go to sand it, it's gonna be a lot more chippy. I think we've got some good chipping there. And there. So yes, when I go to sand it, and there is a video of me showing you how I sand it and what it does when it does that. So yeah, that's it. Basically, that is all there is to it. And like I said, I'm gonna dry this one and then start on the second coat. And hopefully you guys can see the magic actually happen. It will start, the first coat will start to crack. The second coat really takes it to a whole new level because it looks thick, really thick and solid, except for where it's cracked. And then when the paint peels off, you can see the green and the black. So I just give it a dry, especially if I'm in a hurry. Sometimes I let them dry on their own. Sometimes I don't. Especially like here, like I'm in air in my studio, but sometimes it's really humid and it still takes forever. to dry. So that is one of the downfalls of living in a humid climate. But being here in the air, it helps. And I can also, sometimes I'll turn a heater on, which I don't want to do right now with the air on. But it helps to set them in front of a heater. I do that in the winter time. But this right here is my best friend. It gets it dry a lot faster. Okay. All right, actually, I'm going to pull this one up because the other thing that I like to do, I can't wait to see what that chipping does there on that. The other thing that I like to do, as you can see on the bottom of this, it's not painted, but I do paint it. I just go in and I don't, now I'm going to show you the difference. There's not going to be a ton of difference, but this color, this black color, I don't do the green. I don't go through that much trouble to do the bottom. But I do the bottom. I do paint it. Because I did have a customer come back to me and say, hey, you didn't paint the bottom. And I was like, well, usually you don't have to paint a bottom. And she had it on a glass shelf. So I was like, oh, that would make sense. So from then on, I started painting the bottom. And I also put the little felt pads on the bottom. So this usually does do like a crackle finish. But to ensure the crackle finish, I definitely do the top coat on the top part of it. I just want to make sure. Okay, almost dry. And you can actually see, hang on, where I had more paint on one side than I did the other. So you can see where it does crack. Let's do one more coat on this. And then the felt pads will get super glued on the bottom. And actually this probably isn't enough. Let me throw in just, I'm gonna get it just a little more. It's gonna be thinner. That's okay, because it will still lay down the color, although it's thinner. I just have to be careful and not, I have to catch it if it runs over the sides. There we go. And now this will not, it will still crackle. But now I've got a second coat on it. I'm just getting those drips off the side. And that's it. This one's almost complete. I'll take it to my shop. I'll do the sanding on it. And then I will do clear wax and then black wax. And make sure the black wax is in all the crooks and nooks and crannies and everywhere that age and dust and everything collects. And that is, I have done that in another video. And I believe it's a short on that one. And then I have a video of the entire process shortened from beginning to end. So however you watch and learn, I've got you covered. So this is fantastic. Now I've got to get a second coat on this. This one, like I said, this one is ready. So I'm going to get a second coat on that. And then the final, might as well go ahead and do the top coat on this one. So I hope that you guys found this to be value, or found this to have value. If you do, if you would give me the thumbs and subscribe for more how-to projects, just all kind of different things for Chalky Decor. And if you need anything on this, you can go to chalky-decor.com. Or you can email me at stephanie@chalky-decor.com for any questions or whatever, or pop them in the chat here, even after the live is off, and comment, and I will be able to answer them for you. So again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that y'all have a fabulous Wednesday. Thank you.